It's February and the pools around Europe are busy. In this edition of Water Polo World, Round 2 preview of the Men's Champions League quarter-final stage, a Round 5 review of the Women's Champions League group stage, the Men's Euro Cup draw and quarter-final preview, the Women's Euro Cup semi-finals, and in the end, the return of Pro Recco. The world's most decorated water polo club is on its way back. After an incredible first round with 2 matches ending with 1 goal difference, it's time for round 2. It was clear after the draw that Group A is going to be very close, and the results of the first round proved it. In the second round, the best match comes on Tuesday. It's a clash between Olympiacos and Novi Beograd. The Greeks had a hard time in the group stage, but have managed to win all away matches and win first place in the group. They have continued with good results away from Piraeus by beating Jadran Split in the first round. Round 2 brings a different challenge. The Serbian champions Novi Beograd are undefeated in this season of the Champions League. They have won against Marseille in the first round after a great battle. The match was decided in the last quarter. Novi Beograd had no losses in the entire season until they lost 2 matches in the regional league prior and after the Champions League. 2 really good teams fighting for the top. This is a definite top match of the round. The second match of the group has a great importance for both teams. A loss here could almost mean the end of hopes for Marseille and Jadran. Both lost in the first round and need points to stay close. For Jadran, this is a start of a series. They will play 3 away matches in a row. Before the start of the quarter-final stage, Group B had 2 favourites. Now it has only 1. Ferencváros demolished Barceloneta 18-10 in the first round. The next opponent is Savona away. The Italians won their first match in Romania and are hoping for the best against the current top team. The Hungarians have 28 victories and no losses this season and are the clear favourites against anyone, anywhere. The last match of the second round is Barceloneta versus Oradea. The Romanians were battling against Savona for a large part of the match, but against Barceloneta, their chances are at best slim. Barceloneta will probably try everything to put that night in Bella Comjari behind. The group stage in the Women's Champions League has reached the 5th round. 2 seats were available before Saturday's matches. Now only 1 is available and it will be decided in the last round. In Group A, Sabadell and Vouliagmeni are through in the first and second place at the moment. The Greeks have a chance to claim the top spot, but it will be very difficult because Sabadell beat them in Greece 16-11. Ferencváros wasn't beaten in the group stage until this round. Mataro was better after the penalty shootout in what was a highly entertaining match. Mataro had a 3-goal advantage with 4.5 minutes. That would have been enough for first place, but Ferencváros fought back and equalised 4 seconds to go for the final 10-10. The Hungarians and Spaniards are first and second in Group B. Olympiacos has won Group C, 5 wins in 5 matches. Second place in this group will be decided in the last round. Donk is second with 6 points and they play against Alimos, currently third with 5 points. Roma is last with 4 points, but they have Olympiacos against them. Orizzonte Catania and San Andreu are through in Group D. They play against each other in round 6. The 2 Hungarians, UVSC and BVSC, are 3rd and 4th place in the group.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, dear water polo friends. Good morning for Zagreb. Today is 7th of February 2025, and we are just to start with the draw procedure for Euro Cup quarter-final, semi-final and final stages.
The second strongest water polo competition, the Euro Cup, is full of great names this year. A lot of clubs with Champions League experience are in this year's Euro Cup. The competition has reached the quarter-final, and the draw has set up several great duels. The first matches are scheduled for the 27th of February, with the second legs on the 20th of March. Mladost and Jadran have already met 2 times this season, and the Montenegrins have won both of them. The last one played in Zagreb with a 4-goal advantage. Mladost changed a lot before the start of this season, but are still not playing as everybody was expecting. Brescia faces a difficult challenge against Radnički. Brescia is currently second in the Italian league, fighting for a top spot with Pro Recco, but Radnički has been stronger as the season progressed. In addition, they have brought 2 new players in January. Another great matchup is Vasa's Pro Recco. The 2 former champions will fight for the chance to meet Sabadell or Primorac in the semi-final. Pro Recco has also managed to bring new players, and this match against the 2023 Euro Cup winners will be very interesting to see where Pro Recco is now. Primorac and Sabadell already met this season. They were in the same Champions League group. And judging by these 2 matches, another great matchup is in front of us. Sabadell beat Primorac in Kotor after penalties 14-15, and Primorac responded in Catalonia, beating Sabadell 14-16. This season, no Final Four will be held. The tournament is played in classical home and away format, finishing with 2 final games. The ladies are a step further than the men in their Euro Cup journey. After the return legs of the semi-finals, we know who will be in the final. ZV Dezan is the first finalist after 2 matches against the Greek side Glyfada. The Dutch club won the first game in Greece with 3 goals of an advantage and were able to win at home. When Dezan created a 5-goal advantage mid-third quarter, it was clear that Glyfada had an almost impossible task to overturn the match. All they managed to do was come closer and finish the match 1 goal short. In the end, 11-10 for Dezan. In the second semi-final, Pallanuoto Trieste confirmed their 6-goal advantage from the first match with another victory against Tenerife. It finished 7-8 for the Italians, who are in their second Euro Cup final in a row. The finals start in Trieste, where the first match will be played on the 15th of March. The return leg in the Netherlands on the 5th of April.
Today will help me Alka and Eva. Please.
All underage competitions that will be played this summer now have their schedule. The official draw was held in Zagreb for all under-16 and under-18 competitions that are going to be held this summer from June to early September. These are the results of the draw for all competitions. the important water polo national or regional competitions are coming closer to the end. After all of the national teams and European competitions, clubs now have to pay closer attention to their national competitions. Here's a quick recap of several of the strongest European national championships. In the regional water polo league, Jadran Herceg Novi is leading in the regional league after they managed to beat Novi Beograd, Jadran Split and Jug in just 15 days. Radnički helped them by beating Novi Beograd. It's congested at the top. Radnički, Jadran and Novi Beograd have 42 points. Jadran Split is fourth with 41. Out of the top four are Mladost in 5th, Primorac 9th and Jug 10th. Pro Recco and Brescia are shoulder to shoulder after 18 rounds of the Italian Serie A. Both have 42 points and are fighting for the top to avoid Savona in the playoff semi-final. Savona is third, 7 points behind Brescia and 11 ahead of Trieste, that has returned to the 4th place after Posillipo won against Roma. It's going to be very interesting to see who gets the first place after the league part. Brescia and Pro Recco meet again in the last round to decide who's going into the playoffs from the top. It's complete mayhem in Greece. 3 teams are at the top of Group A. Panathinaikos has beaten Vouliagmeni 11-10 in the last round and are now with Panionios all on 36 points. Group B is led by Olympiakos with a healthy 7 points advantage at the top. Barceloneta is ruling Spain. Apart from leading in Division de Honor with 4 points advantage, they have won their 21st Copa del Rey last weekend, beating Sabadell for the 7th time in the final. This was their 13th cup in a row. The only French club in the Champions League is leading a league championate without a loss, 8 clean victories. But the advantage is not that big. PDX is 1 point behind after 8 rounds. Strasbourg and Montpellier are 3rd and 4th. Montpellier has beaten Strasbourg in the last round and is now 1 point ahead of Set in 5th. It was without any doubt the biggest story of the summer in the world of water polo. The most decorated water polo club in the world, Pro Recco, was in financial difficulties and was having to release some of their top players. Granados went to Barceloneta, Zalanki and Kakaris in Olympiakos. Pro Recco was out of the Champions League and the future of the club was very uncertain. Their owner for 19 years, Gabriele Volpi, has decided to step back from Pro Recco. After great success in that time, 8 Champions League, 18 Italian championships and numerous cups, it was a moment that was not easy to understand.
A bit of disbelief at the start, obviously, when we first read it. We thought it was a bit of a joke or something, but then quickly came to realise what the actual situation was. And I think everyone, the team's been a very similar team for the last few years. The core players have pretty much stayed the same the whole time I've been here, so there was a lot of communication between the players and the club, and everyone was a bit worried at the start, but kind of also relaxed. Everyone knew that Pro Recco is the biggest name in water polo historically, and we kind of had faith that they would be able to find someone. Weren't sure who it was going to be, but there was always that faith that we'd be able to find someone to at least keep the team alive and going for the next year. But yeah, it was definitely a stressful period, especially for the players over at the Olympics. They were preparing for the Olympics while worrying if they'd have a job in September. So it was a tough period, but I think it helped with the group we have and how close everyone has become over these years, that they're able to stick together, and eventually pretty much the whole team stayed. So it was a good result from where we came from.
The management of the club had a task to try and keep the squad in the best shape possible, especially after a solution for financial stability started to emerge.
Beh, quello che è successo quest'estate è stato qualcosa di complicato. di inaspettato, di un po' così, un po' una grande sorpresa, uno shock, ma credo che nella vita, nello sport in generale, almeno per me, lo sport insegna questo, di superare momenti di difficoltà trovando una soluzione. Il momento non era un momento facile perché pochi giorni dai Giochi Olimpici di Parigi la squadra era già fatta per i prossimi 3 anni, un team secondo me molto forte, però abbiamo reagito. Quello che ha fatto un po' la differenza è che, sai, quando ci sono i soldi, quando ci sono i giocatori, tendenzialmente va tutto bene, no? Poi quando arrivano i problemi, allora vedi, misuri il valore di un club, di una squadra e capisci anche che cosa vale il club, quello che hai costruito, anche in relazione al mondo della pallanuoto. E ho ricevuto tantissime dimostrazioni di vicinanza, tutti erano sotto shock. E poi lavorando, insomma, abbiamo trovato una soluzione fantastica con i nuovi proprietari che hanno dato vita a quello che è un progetto che sono convinto ci porterà ancora tante soddisfazioni. La storia è questa, che Alexander Bering sulla Gazzetta dello Sport legge della notizia della Pro Recco e tramite un nostro grande giocatore che è Leonardo Sottani, il mancino che ha giocato con me, con il Recco, ha vinto tantissimo e vivono in Brasile, e mi ha contattato e abbiamo iniziato una chiacchierata in macchina col telefono e da lì in 2 giorni, 24 ore abbiamo trovato un accordo per far stare in piedi la squadra e pianificare il futuro. Dopo qualche mese è entrata anche la famiglia Hammarskjöld, grandi amici della famiglia Bering, amanti della pallanuoto, pazzi di pallanuoto, che hanno dato a me una fiducia incredibile e i giocatori hanno respirato questa fiducia, perché non è facile, dopo quello che è successo, di dire bene, io aspetto perché la storia va avanti, no? I ragazzi sono ragazzi giovani, sono ragazzi che hanno famiglie, sono ragazzi che hanno obiettivi personali, dove non siamo nel calcio, dove guadagni milioni e dici vabbè, vado lì o vado là uguale. Da noi rischi se fai la scelta sbagliata, no?
At the start of the season, Pro Recco was admitted to the Euro Cup and there started the new journey for the Italian champions.
Noi siamo partiti a settembre che non sapevamo neanche se potevamo giocare, siamo andati a Budapest in Eurocup con 5 giorni di allenamento e da lì è partita questa costruzione della squadra, questa identità ed è partita soprattutto una collaborazione, un modo di lavorare con la nuova proprietà, con la famiglia Bering, con la famiglia Hammarskjöld, che ci sta dando una visione e un'organizzazione, secondo me, incredibile. Cioè, saremo più forti di prima. Saremo più forti di prima in acqua e saremo più forti di prima fuori dall'acqua.
As the season progressed, it was clear that coach Sugno had managed to keep Pro Recco strong. They are first in the Italian Championship, but Brescia is very close.
Yeah, no, Brescia has been a bit of a surprise this year. I mean, if you look at the roster, they've got really quite a young team, but they're playing well every game. They've been competing even in the European leagues and the Len Cup. They've been putting in some really good results. You see they beat Savona as well. They've been proving themselves, but they're still quite a young team, but it's going to come down to the neck and neck in the finals, but it will be an interesting one. So we play in Brescia the last game of the season to decide who goes through first or second, and in the Italian league that's really important because the top 3 teams are very close. You've got Savona in 3rd place, and obviously that would be better to avoid Savona in the semi-final and take the 4th position instead. So it's going to be an important game. In that period, the April, May, there's going to be a lot of important games, pretty much none that we can actually afford to lose.
And are in the quarter-final of the Euro Cup, where the next opponent is Vasas from Budapest.
Saranno due bellissime partite col Vasas, perché è una squadra che gioca in maniera molto aggressiva in attacco, possono fare tanti gol, tantissimi, un po' come tutte le squadre ungheresi, però forse in difesa hanno perso qualche certezza rispetto a quando Mitrovic era in porta. Detto questo, sono due partite dove può succedere di tutto e sarà importante per noi continuare il nostro percorso di crescita di come stiamo giocando, e se alziamo il livello e lo manteniamo come stiamo lavorando, penso che anche per il Vasas sia dura giocare con noi.
It's always a question in these situations. It's what comes next. Pro Recco has managed to avoid the fate of many storied clubs that didn't manage to stay strong. What does the future hold for Pro Recco?
Il futuro nostro è intanto una fantastica esperienza per me lavorativa in questo momento, perché oltre a lavorare con la squadra, quindi nel creare un roster, con la nuova proprietà stiamo lavorando tantissimo anche fuori dall'acqua. Abbiamo un parallelo tra squadra e quello che una società deve fare fuori per aumentare ancora di più il nostro brand. Cioè Pro Recco deve diventare ancora più globale, come lo è ora, ma ancora di più, perché dobbiamo assolutamente provare a creare delle entrate, a aiutare gli altri club a creare delle entrate, dobbiamo diventare molto più commerciabili dal punto di vista televisivo, e quindi da questo punto di vista spingeremo e spingiamo tantissimo. La piscina credo sia l'ennesimo problema che abbiamo avuto in questi anni, ma soprattutto la famiglia Behring e la famiglia Hammarskjöld, che hanno una mentalità in cui prevedono una casa della Pro Recco, no? Proprio come mentalità soprattutto americana, no? Dove per creare un prodotto in cui uno viene a vedere la partita di pallanuoto e vive un'esperienza. Noi oggi siamo molto in ritardo. Credo che il giorno che avremo questo tipo di situazione potremo lavorare molto meglio con i giovani, cosa che oggi facciamo fatica, perché senza spazio non è semplice. E potremo essere molto più attrattivi per gli sponsor, molto più attrattivi per i tifosi, molto più attrattivi per chi viene a vedere la Pro Recco. Quindi penso che troveremo una soluzione molto, molto presto e sarà una piscina bellissima.
It was a close call, but the winner of 11 Champions Leagues is still alive and kicking. If the season in the Italian Championship goes well for the club from Liguria, they will soon be back in the Champions League, fighting for titles. That is all for this edition of Water Polo World. We'll be back in 30 days. We'll see you then.